Morning everyone, my name's Simon and welcome back to Walking with Whitey. In today's episode I'm heading up the M6 and I'm still undecided. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, as you can see, quite dark still, and I'm still undecided whether I'm going to take a left and head into North Wales or I'm going to go straight on up to the Lake District. You might be wondering why I'm sat on the side of a road in the dark on a Sunday morning. Well, I'll tell you for why. As the regular subscribers know, we've recently got a new addition to our family, and that's Mav, the Cocker Spaniel. And we're going through a phase of leaving him for extended periods of time to see how he reacts. Now, he's getting better every time, but my partner is working nights tonight and she doesn't get in until about 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's now 6:30 here. So what I've done is I've settled him down, I've left, and I'm just parked up round the corner and I've got a camera on him. I know, but I've got a camera on him and I'm just checking that he stays settled. And when it gets to about 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to head up the road. So, as you can see now, I'll show you what I'm looking at. So this is what I'm currently looking at. Sat on the side of a road in the pitch black with a coffee, watching this little furry lump snoring his head off. And I hope he stays like that. Okay, so I've made a decision, finally. I'm at Knutsford Services, which is quite high up the M6, and I'm going to go for it. Something's just telling me, go to the Lake District, so that's what I'm going to do. The time is now 8:20. I'm going to get there for just before 11. So that gives me, last light is at 6 p.m, so that gives me about 7 hours. The whole route on OS Maps is saying it'll take me about 4.5, 5 hours. So I should have enough daylight to do it and to get to the spot where I would like to camp for the night with plenty of light left. Now we should be coming up onto the Haystacks Slate Mine car park, which I believe is National Trust. It should be here on the left somewhere. Oh, there's a YHA. Is that it there? Let's try down here. Oh, lots of cars. I'm guessing so. Hopefully there's a parking spot. Oh, there's one right there actually. I might just grab that. Well, that's good news. I'm at the Haystacks Slate Mine car park, which is National Trust, and I found a spot. It is busy, but I'm just going to go over to the pay and display now and see how much it's going to cost me to park the car here overnight. Okay, the time is 11:15 and we're off. There's the Haystacks Slate Mine, which I didn't realise was still active. There's people working there today, and it's a Sunday. And my first ever Wainwright is up there. Well, I'm about 650 metres up at the moment. I've had to stop for 5 minutes. It's hard graft. I'm not killing myself. But you know what? I've just sat on a rock, I've turned around, and I'm met with this. What can you say to that? And this, I haven't even got to the first Wainwright yet, to the top. This is in our country, guys. This is the Lake District. I say it's my first time in the Lake District. It's going to be my first overnight in the Lake District. I have done Scaffold Pike a couple of years ago now, but that was up and back in the day. This will be my first wild camp, and it literally has already taken my breath away. It's approaching my first ever Wainwright on this channel. Are you ready for this, folks? Grey knots, 697 metres. Look at this. Absolutely lost for words. So as we're taking a slow walk to our next Wainwright, I just want to talk about where the term Wainwright came from. So in total, there are 214 Wainwrights in the Lake District, and they were documented in a series of books by a chap called Alfred Wainwright back in the 50s and 60s. Several volumes apparently. I've not seen them, but you know, I won't lie to you, I've only just read up on this because I wasn't sure myself, but it has intrigued me, so I might look at seeing about whether the volumes are still available and have a look at them. But anyway, he documented them, hence why they're called Wainwright. And another thing I didn't know is when he died, he had his ashes scattered in a tarn, or in and around a tarn, by a place called Haystacks, by a Wainwright called Haystacks, I should say. Now, it's a bit of a tongue twister, but I believe it's called inanimate or inanimate tarn. So his ashes were spread there. And I think, depending on how today goes, I might be passing that tarn. So that might be quite fitting for my first ever foray into the Lake District doing Wainwrights, to pay my respects to the man himself. But we'll see how we go. Time is now 12:30, so it took me 1 hour and 15 to get up to that first Wainwright. It was a bit gnarly. Yeah, had me huffing and puffing, but it doesn't look too bad now in terms of elevation and stuff, so we'll plod on, see how we get on. So here we are at the second Wainwright of the day. This is a Brandreth, 715 metres, and in the background there, I believe, is Great Gable. I'm not going that way, but I mean, look at that. So you've got Green Gable in front here, and then you've got Great Gable to the side. Look at that cloud inversion in between, and we are heading this way. So we're heading kind of west now, down from Brandreth, and look at this. This is amazing. So on the left here, you've got Pillar, and then you've got Ennerdale Water, which you can clearly see, and then you've got Haystacks, which is where we're heading next, and then down in that mist is Buttermere. So it's amazing how that body of water doesn't have any mist, and that is still covered in mist. And then just here is Fleetwith Pike, where I'm hoping to camp at some point tonight. So here we are, guys, at Inanimate Tarn. I hope I pronounced that right. I'll put it on the screen. So this is where Wainwright's ashes were scattered, absolutely leaking. So I'm gonna have an electrolyte, plenty of water, and then I'm gonna fill up from the tarn before I summit Haystacks. I still can't believe that it's taken me 47 years to get into the lakes. It's certainly not going to be another 47 until I come back. So many places to see and explore. Crazy. Poles are deployed. Let's get up to the top of Haystacks and have a good look from there. Let's do it. So here we are at Haystacks, 597 metres. Look at this. Not the tallest, but by God, look at the view. Absolutely amazing. That's where we're heading next. That's Fleetwith Pike. But in order to do that, we have to go around and back up. And I think I can see the camp spot that I'm after. But it's only about 2:30, so we've got plenty of time. You can just, in behind there, just that site is Scaffold Pike. Look down into the valley there. Man, this is amazing. It's just a different kind of beauty. That's High Crag there, but we're not doing that one today. Not enough hours in a day. Simon, turn around. Simon, turn around. Okay, we'll do. Oh my God. Look at that. That's a nice shadow, isn't it? Okay, here we are at this lovely looking bothy. Apologies, I don't know the name of it, but I'll put it on the screen below. Looks like a nice place to shelter if the weather got bad. Let's go in and have a look. Knock, knock. Oh wow. Okay, I wasn't expecting this. So we've got some utensils there, I'm guessing for the fire. The bothy code. Why you should carry out your rubbish. Brilliant. And a massive set of bunk beds with an inflatable pad up there. Wow. Okay. It's quite decent. I was expecting a wreck, to be honest. Nice wood burner ready to go. Look, it's emptied, clean, ready to go. Some kindling and a lighter and another bed and a fire blanket. It's nice to know there's a little bit of safety if needed. I've just had the funniest little race with this lady. She came up behind me coming out Fleetwith Pike, and she just had a sense of urgency about her, you know. And I thought, you're looking for the same place I'm looking for. Anyway, we both ran straight past the cairn at the top of Fleetwith Pike, and we did get talking, and we are both looking for the same place. And neither of us can find it. However, there is a lovely little place just off the top, which I will use tonight. So now
I'm going back to the top to bag my 4th Wainwright. This, ladies and gentlemen, 655 meters Fleetwith Pike. Look at this. There's Buttermere, Haystacks. Look at the cloud inversions going on. You can see Scafell Pike in the distance there. And the route that I've done today. Absolutely stunning. Now, there is a place just down there. You can see the lady coming back up now. However, I mean, look, there's a place there. There's a place there. There's places all over. So I'm not going to be short of places. It's about 4:30. So I am going to take it nice and steady now. It's nice and slowly. Get the tent up and get to relaxing because it's been a hard slog today. The battery's nearly dead on my camera. So I'm going to plug that in. You don't need to see me setting up the tent. I've got the Durston X-Dome. You've seen that before. I'll bring you back once I've got a bit more charge and I'm settled in. I just want to take this in for a minute. Well, I've put some juice back into the camera so I'm fully charged again. I've set the tent up. I'm all settled in for the evening. And in the words of 2 Unlimited, kids, ask your parents, yo, ready for this? Sorry. This, I know I've not been doing this long, but this is a class above anything I've done so far. Here we go. Got the X-Dome I've guyed out 4 corners, but I've got more guys if I need it. Going round to inside. Got all my cook stuff there. Massive vestibule. I've got the Stalwart, which is the Big Agnes Rapide SL mat. I've got the Leviathan EV900 Trekology pillow, and I've also got a bivvy bag down the bottom because it is meant to be cold tonight. And I've got all my bits and bobs lined along the back. So the temperature is starting to drop now, so I thought now would be a good time to show you my new jacket. So this is a Rab Mythic down jacket, and it's 900 fill power, and the whole thing just weighs 250 grams, and it is toasty. It really is. I bought this with obviously my ultralight setup in mind next year, but with the fill power that it's got, and it's going to drop down to quite a cold night tonight. Wanted to give it a good test and see how well it actually performs. So I'll let you know. First of all, I'm not going to lie, I've struggled with that pack today, being 17.5 kilograms. I'm really feeling it this evening. So what I want to do is, I've got my favourite adventure food here, but it's a lot lighter than these. So I'm going to eat these tonight, just so I can shed a bit of weight. So I've got a boil in a bag macaroni cheese, followed by chocolate pudding, and then just before bed I'm going to have my usual hot chocolate, and I am really looking forward to that. And I've also brought a little treat just for later on to watch the sun go down with, and I'll share that with you in a bit. So while the food's boiling, I thought now would be a good time to catch up on today. First off, I just want to say about this episode, I seem to be running about 4 weeks behind at the moment, if you see what I mean. So I'm doing this now. This is the 12th, Sunday the 12th of October, and this will be published on the 14th of November. So anything I might say now might have changed slightly by then, if that makes sense. First of all, I've got to start with some awesome news. Just as I left this morning, no, sorry, last night, I hit 200 subscribers. I'm absolutely chuffed to bits, guys. Thank you very much. Blows me away. It really does. So thank you very much for that. Unlike the 100, I'm not going to do a prize giveaway because it could get very expensive for me. I'm not saying I will. I'm not being presumptuous at all. But if I were to reach 500 views, then I will do another giveaway, and it'll be a more substantial one than the one that Darren won. Congratulations, Darren. So the walk itself then, I got to the Honister slate mine and it was totally clagged in. It was showing signs of dissipating, but it was clagged in. And I've bagged, along the way, 4 Wainwrights, which it was a total accident that I included Haystacks and that inanimate tarn. Is that right? I didn't know the story behind it, I must admit, until, you know, I Googled it and researched it. And I didn't realise that that's where Wainwright's ashes are scattered on that tarn. So to actually do that on my first ever wild camp in a Lake District, I think is very fitting. Totally by accident, but very fitting. And then obviously got up to Fleetwith Pike. I've seen so many videos of people coming up to Fleetwith Pike, plonking their tents on here, and in all weathers, and it doesn't matter what the weather, it just looks absolutely epic. And I thought, when I go to the lakes, that is the first thing I'm going to do. And here I am. It's meant to be a clear night if the mist stays low. It's meant to be cold, so I have got, you know, warm kit for that. And there's not supposed to be much wind, but I've put a few guy lines out just in case. I mean, this is quite a sturdy tent for how light it is, but a few guys wouldn't hurt. And I'm just ready to settle in for the evening. So I've gone back to my old Altberg boots. They are military issue and they are built really well. I mean, look, they've gone through all sorts today. They've gone through rivers, bogs and everything, and they're still pretty decent. My feet are bone dry, which is a bonus, where they would have been wet if I had the others on. My one criticism of the Altberg is the sole. Even though it's a Vibram sole, it's a hard sole. So it really doesn't do your feet any good when you're going along solid roads, paths, all that kind of stuff. Brilliant on grass, but the moment you hit resistance, something hard, your feet start throbbing, and my feet are throbbing. No blisters, and they're dry, but they're throbbing. So the search continues for me for a full leather, waterproof winter boot. But apart from that, I'm absolutely chuffed to bits with how today's gone so far. I know I'm in for a cold night. One thing I haven't showed you actually is my new toy. I'll quickly show you that now. I don't know if you can see this, but they're called Gove, G-O-V-E-E. And if you look there, hopefully you can see it. I've got an inside and an outside temperature, and it's all Bluetooth together. So if I bring the camera around now, up here is the one for inside. It's a thermometer, Bluetooth thermometer, and obviously I've put I for inside, so it corresponds with the Bluetooth. And out there is the outside one. So I should be able to give you an accurate reading, and it records as well, so it will tell me what it gets down to in here and out there. So let's see, at the moment, so inside is 15.2 degrees, outside is 12.6, so there's already nearly a 3-degree difference. And I suppose when I shut this up, it'll start being different. This is a solid inner Durston, so you know it should keep the warmth in quite well. Okay, boil in a bag mac and cheese. Oh, it's strong. It's actually not bad. Not bad at all. Temperature's really starting to drop now, so I've had to put my beanie hat on. I've lost my other hat. Don't know where it is. But luckily I've got a few, and I thought I'd get this one out. I did the Great Tommy Sleep Out a couple of years ago with my closest friends. We did sleep out. We didn't do the route we were supposed to do because there was a pub en route, so he ended up in there. But we did sleep out that night and raised a nice amount of cash for homeless veterans. Anyone homeless is a very sad thing, but being homeless, once you've dedicated a part of your life to serving your country and defending this country, it shouldn't be happening in the 6th richest country in the world. It really shouldn't. But that's borderline political, so I'm not going to get political on this channel. But what I will say is homeless veterans isn't good. Anyway, chocolate pud. Actually, this one's not that good. Still rock hard. It's in little bits like that. Where's all the sauce? There's no sauce. I can't eat that. It's disgusting. That one. Stay clear of that. Absolutely disgusting, guys. Ah, that's a shame, that. Right, I brought something a little bit special for me when I sit here and watch the sun go down. Can of Sprite. Now I know people bring beer, cider, whiskey, vodka, but I don't drink that much. Don't get me wrong, I used to drink a lot. You know, I went into a culture of heavy drinking when I joined the military. I joined at 17 years old, and my first posting was Germany. The first night I got there, I was taken down into town and was made to get absolutely hammered. And that was it. That was your initiation. And that's pretty much what life was like in Germany for a year. And I was in the military for 17 years, and it very much was a drinking culture. But even after I left, I carried on the drinking. It wasn't until a couple of years ago I was in a very unhappy place in my life, and it wouldn't be unheard of that on a Friday night I could drink a half, 3/4, maybe even a full litre bottle of vodka on a Friday night. I was doing it because I was unhappy. I was doing it because I was trying to escape real world problems. But then it all changed. It all changed for me in a positive way. I haven't given up drinking, but I save it for occasions, you know, like birthdays, weddings, all that kind of stuff. So this, for me, is just as good as any alcohol. So cheers. Here's to the end of Sunday the 12th of October. Here's to the amazing sunset. Here's to the amazing cloud inversion that's happening. And here's to you guys. I wish you nothing but happiness, health, and whatever that brings. Cheers. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do the Sprite challenge, because it might rumble all the way down the valley, a burp like that. So I'm going to take small sips and enjoy the sun going down. You enjoy it with me. God, I wish my partner and my little doggy was here with me now. You know, one of the first times I met my partner, we walked up Scaffold Pike together. But we got up there and we came down this crazy way. We were being led by someone else. We didn't go up and come back down the same way. We came back down a different way. And I can actually see it from here, the way we came down. And I was doing my best. I just met her. I was doing my best to do the chivalrous thing. I was holding her hand, coming down the mountainside. But I was holding on for dear life myself, but I wasn't saying anything. And we got to a little flat bit, and I was in front, and then I just suddenly sensed that she had stopped. And she was just looking down this valley. Now I've got my bearings. It was this valley. And she was looking, and she's the kind of person that just absolutely absorbs it, absorbs everything. And her hair was a mess. She was red-faced. She had a little bit of dribble from her nose because it was cold up there. Kit hanging everywhere. But in that moment, that's when I knew. I knew I needed that woman in my life. And I'm thankful for her every day. This is in our country, guys. You've got the lakes, you've got Scotland, you've got North Wales, South Wales, Dartmoor, you know, the Peak District. So you're never really any more than a few hours away from somewhere like this. Red sky at night, shepherd's delight. And what was it for the morning? Is it red sky in the morning, sailors take warning or something? Before the sun goes down completely, just going to show you all the warm kit that I've got available tonight, and I think I'm going to need it all. So obviously I've got my secret weapon, which is the hot water bottle. I've got my Optimus down boots. I've got Helly Hansen top and bottom thermals. I've got merino wool socks and a snood. Buttermere is completely covered now in cloud. And look at how red that sunset is. I think we're witnessing a real life rescue, and I believe that's Pillar or Pilar on the side of there. Just seen a torchlight on the side of the mountain flashing. Looked like it was flashing SOS, to be fair. And now there's a helicopter buzzing just above it. Hope everyone's okay. Right, I'm not messing around tonight. It's already down to 7 degrees, so I am putting on all of my warm kit. Now there's bits of this that I might have to edit and cut because you don't need to see. Okay, so I look like, I don't know, I look like a morph or something, I know. But then what I'm going to do is, some people might think it's minging, but you know what, I don't care. It's one night. So this is what I wore today. It is already dry, but I'm going to put it back on so it keeps it warm. If it's hanging up, it's just going to get cold. And the trousers as well, as long as they're not, you know, as long as they're not filthy, which they're not, these ain't, I'm going to put these back on. If they were filthy, then I would hang them up. So these are going to go back on. So, and then my down booties, hopefully they've had enough time to fluff up a bit. Put them on, they've got a draw cord, so I'll just pull them tight. And then I might just tuck them under my trousers actually. Like so. Next one. With these ones, you do have to kind of move the down around a bit. They're from Optimus, they are good, they are warm, but they weren't that expensive actually. I think they're about £19 in a sale. But the down does sort of collect in areas, so just before you put them on, like I can feel like the underside there isn't a lot of down there. So yeah, just move the down around a bit. Tight. And there we go. That's toasty. Look, I look like a proper gimp. I know I do. Alright, but are we out here for any fashion shows? We're not, are we? You know, it's going to drop down to low single figures tonight. And I want to sleep right through it with no problems whatsoever. If I need a wee, these Nalgene bottles, brilliant. They've got a nice wide opening. No, don't even go there. I'm not bigging myself up. I just know that I've got plenty of room to get in there. It's fine. And yeah, they're good. They're heavy duty, nice wide opening, so you're not spilling. And you know, you can just empty it out in the morning. And then when I get home, what I tend to do is boil a kettle, let the kettle cool down a little bit, and put it in here and give it a good rinse out down the toilet, and do that a few times. Right, I'm going to lie here and chill, wait for it to get a bit darker. Who knows, I might fall asleep. If I do fall asleep, I'll sleep right through. I'll see you in the morning. If not, I'll bring you back when it's a bit darker and we'll see what the stars do.
Good morning. It's 6:30. I had an on and off sleep last night. I kept waking up because I wanted to see what the stars were like. I took a few photos. If they're any good, I'll stick them up here now for you. It stayed quite mild last night. I was expecting the temperature to drop quite a bit. So much so I had to take my water bottle out my sleeping bag because it was just too hot and uncomfortable. The search and rescue went on for quite some time. So I hope everything is okay there. Apart from that, cracking night. It was a clear night every time I went out, which was good. And I guess the only thing to do now is to have a look out and see what kind of sunrise we're going to get. Probably going to get sunrise in about half an hour, 40 minutes. So it's a nice clear sky still. The moon up there. And it looks like the sunrise is going to be happening over there. Not a bad place for breakfast, is it? One thing I did want to say last night, which I forgot to, when I was having my evening meal, is for me, camping, hiking, wild camping, all that kind of stuff, for me, it's about this. It's about the scenery, it's about the route, it's about the experiences you have along the way. When it comes to my food, unfortunately for you guys, it's going to be very, very bland. It's going to be very easy. It's either going to be a rehydrated food or a boil in a bag. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be one of these people that brings pots and pans with me and cooks up a steak. It's not who I am. I'm not a cooker at the best of times. So for me, the food is to get in me, to give me energy, to get me through the day. So this is as gourmet as it gets, folks. That's a sausage and beans in there. But why would I be slaving over a pot or a pan when I can just sit here and take this in? So here we are at the top of Fleetwith Pike, just waiting for the sun to come up. Look what we have here. Don't want to get too close because they're still kipping, but it looks like an X-Mid too. And we got another wild camper down there. And boy, have they picked the right morning for this. Cheers everyone. Here's to a new day. Let's do a 360 from the top of Fleetwith Pike. I'll do it nice and slow so you can just take it all in. Brilliant pitch for the X-Dome too there. X-Dome, X-Mid too, I should say. Right, I think it's time now to get back to the tent. Even though it's only 20-30 metres away, it does unnerve me that I've left everything there. So back to the tent, start packing up, and then head down back to the car. I don't think I've ever witnessed a sunset, a night, and a sunrise like I just have. I'm struggling to think. So that's not bad, is it? In 47 years in this planet, I've just experienced something for the first time. And that's what this is all about. This is where I was. Leave no trace, as always. Rubbish in the bag. And I've also picked up all that I can find in this immediate area. I don't know why people do it. You know, how hard is it just to put your litter in your pocket or back in your backpack and take it home with you? If you're going to enjoy this place, then respect it. That's all I'm going to say on that. Now let's take a walk to the cliff's edge here. Don't know if you can see, but that's that lady I raced up to the cairn yesterday. It looks like she found a nice spot. It might have been the one I was looking for, I don't know, but I'm more than happy with where I was last night, that's for sure. Certainly got a bit of a better view from up here. Right, off we go. I think it's about 2 or 3 kilometres walk back to the car at the slate mine. Apparently there's a lovely little cafe there that should be open. So look forward to that as a bit of a pat on the back for a job well done. Well, just goes to show, doesn't it? This is Fleetwith Pike, where I was to see the sunrise. Nice little building there. Massive great ravine, and I don't know whether you can see it, but some more houses or quarry houses on the other side of the hill round about there. I mean, come on, look at this. Is this the place that just keeps on giving, or what? I think this might be perfect time to do my end of hike chat. And where do I start? I think I'm going to start with, it's going to take me time to process what's just happened. I've just been exposed to the best scenery, the best experiences, well, just a lot of the best feelings that I've had when it comes to hiking and wild camping. Obviously the weather's had a lot to do with it. It just humbles you, you know, when you see the clouds rolling in over the hills like waves, you know, it makes you realise that there's just something bigger than you. And I think we all need to just step out of our own little bubble every now and again and just take stock of what's around us. I guess the word I'm looking for is it humility? Probably. I think that's probably my overwhelming emotion that I've taken away from this. The hike itself, just everywhere you look, spectacular, absolutely spectacular. The people I've met, I've not had one negative comment. It's all been very friendly. Even when I pitched up, you know, I pitched up next to a path, but it was worth it for where I was and the views. And I did have quite a few people passing me heading up towards Fleetwith Pike. And they were nothing but polite and more complimentary more than anything about what view and what a good night's sleep I'm going to have. And I did have a good night's sleep. I was too hot. It dropped down to 7 degrees, but you know, with a 4-season sleeping bag, thermals on, down boots and a hot water bottle, it was too much. So the hot water bottle got flung outside into the vestibule.
took my hat off, and then I was fine after that. And the sunrise this morning, I mean, wow. There was there was 2 or 3 of us up there, but it was silent. It was clear. The cloud inversions were going on below us, and it was just an absolutely amazing experience. And literally as soon as the sun came up, I went back down to pack the tent away, and then the mist came in. So it was all good timing as well. Just feel very, very fortunate. Very much, I feel like I've lucked out on this one. Well, I have lucked out on this one. So for my first time in the Lake District, I couldn't have asked it to go much better, even if I tried. Accidentally including Haystacks and Innominate Tarn, is it? Which, was Wainwright's favourite hill, and where his ashes were scattered. It was an accident, but I think that's very fitting for me to do for my first quarry into the lakes. 214 Wainwrights in total, 210 to go. I think that's it from me. I think I've gone on for far too long in this whole video. Anyway, there will be a lot of editing to cut out some of the blabbering that I'm doing. I am literally now a stone's throw away from this cafe, where I'm going to have coffee, I'm going to have a breakfast, and then I'm going to set off home. Inside the cafe, actually see into where they're working. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, did you say Simon? Yeah, lovely. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Oh, beautiful. Thanks very much. Well deserved. Well, I went into that cafe for the famous Cumberland sausage bap that pretty much every hiker I passed yesterday advised me to get. Unfortunately, they were sold out. So I had a bacon and egg bap, can of Fanta and a flat white, and it came to £13.80. Lovely cafe, but very, very pricey. I'm just heading back to the car now, so there's nothing left for me to say apart from thank you for coming along on this one. This one was special. If you've liked what you've seen, it'd really mean a lot to me if you liked and subscribed to the channel. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.